to the second half of our 2019 Amerrycana Christmas, broadcasting live from the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles.
Our annual Christmas broadcast dates back to 1896, when shepherds from Amana Valley followed a light in the eastern sky and found themselves standing reverently outside the parish church right here in Peebles, listening to the very first Amerrycana Christmas being performed from the top of the tower.
Several of our house band members were a part of that original broadcast, sitting inside the top of the church tower and playing many of the same songs you're listening to this evening.
This portion of our Amerrycana show is brought to you by our generous sponsors along there on Peebles High Street, including our favourite gift emporium, Tiger Lily. Yes, if you're looking for a wooden duck in red polka dot Wellington boots with your name on a string around its neck and simply having no success, or a pewter wine pourer in the form of a Highland cow's head and its mouth stretched open like a sex toy, then pop into Tiger Lily today.
Tiger Lily, the place to go for special gifts when money and taste are no object. In the interests of balance and impartiality, we should point out that other inexplicably overpriced and tasteless gift shops are available in Peebles. In fact, they almost outnumber the charity shops.
And talking of charity, the DHRC is doing its bit this year to get homeless artists and penniless buskers off the streets in this chilly winter weather. Please welcome on stage right now our house band with I'm Gonna Be Warm This Winter.
We met at a ski lodge and we fell in love. Right by a fireplace, we shared our first embrace, and then inside my heart, I felt a fire start. It's gonna snow outside, the weather will be cold, but I'm gonna be warm this winter. Each time your lips touch mine, they taste just sparkling wine. I feel so warm and loved, just 'cause I love you so. It's cozy in your arms, I'm yours to have to hold. But I'm gonna be warm this winter. Ice skating on a frozen lake, sleigh riding down a mountainside, roasting popcorn, dancing till the dawn. That was how I knew life was it's just like make-believe. Each night is New Year's Eve. Each day is Christmas Day. You make me feel this way. It's gonna snow outside. The weather will be cold, but I'm gonna be warm this winter. Yeah. Ice skating on a frozen lake, sleigh riding down a mountainside, roasting popcorn, dancing till the dawn. That was how I knew life was it's gonna snow outside, the weather will be cold, but I'm gonna be warm this winter. Whoa, 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 oh, won't you make me warm this winter, baby? Oh,
Gordon.
How you feeling, old pal?
Well, no bad. And you? Have you still got the same problem, you know, downstairs?
Oh, no, not at all. Mrs. Tweedy's rock cake sorted that out. I knew it would.
And how's the park run going?
Oh, I'm not sure I'll carry on with it, you know. I sprained my ankle and fell in the bloody Tweed last Saturday. It's a good job old Jock from the bowling club happened to be there with his fishing rod. He managed to help me out, otherwise I would have floated all the way down to Innerleithen.
Ah, well, accidents happen.
I know, but they always seem to happen to me. And I'm not sure that this new running kit complements my figures very well, you know. I mean, it cost me a fortune and I look ridiculous in it. You should see me in this lycra t-shirt. And there's nowhere to hide, you know, my folds, kind of my man boobs and things. I seem to have all these extra bits of flesh that flap up and down. Nobody else has them. They all look as fit as a fiddle. And I've strained my calf, so along with the ankle I can hardly walk. The dogs in the park keep chasing me, and as for the chafing, do you want to see it?
I'd rather not. I can imagine.
Oh, it's painful. And then this fat bit on my wrist the son-in-law got me. It seems to be a phone as well. I don't understand how it works. But it keeps ordering pepperoni pizza whenever I walk past Franco's. On the way to the Crown. It's a bloody liability.
I can't what you mean. I'm not so sure about this vaping lark either.
Why?
Well, the wife says she'd rather a stack of cigarettes and strawberry and cream flavoured candy floss, and can't find a better flavour. I did try switching to fruits of the forest, but she just seemed to attract the local cats. And then I was breathing out a real long draw on my way to the pigeon shed the other night, and I totally lost my way in the clouds of water and vapour I breathed out. Couldn't see a thing. I walked straight into the compost heap. Shite on my brakes.
What did the wife say about that?
Oh, that smells better. Why not stick with that, man?
Oh, this isn't going to be easy.
You're telling me I've put the baseball cap and the hoodie for sale on eBay? This is an expensive alternative to smoking.
Oh, you're telling me. And running is dangerous. I've never had so many aches and sprains. It never happened to me when I was smoking.
And you know what? No matter what they say, I'd better you never see a James Dean vaping. Even if he was still alive, it just isn't cool.
Angus, you are spot on. And who wants to be Mo Farah or Roger Bannister anyway, eh?
Fancy a fag?
Aye, come on. Let's nip outside. Sod this running and vaping lot. Let's go outside, look cool, and blow some real smoke.
Angus and Gordon there, enjoying unique hospitality. Of the Tweedy Tea Room down there off the High Street and overlooking Tweed Green. The Tweedy Tea Room has been supplying refreshments to the people of Peebles since the 18th century and still has facilities dating from that period, including Mrs. Tweedy. With high-octane coffee from the I-Bean Coffee Company and full-strength tea that will shrink your skin and coat your teeth with a protective layer of tannin, the Tweedy Tea Room is an eye-wateringly good experience. Our Scottish Christmas mince pies are deep-fried in the traditional way and served with a sprig of holly to help them go down easily. Please note that toilets are for paying customers only. Cubicle doors have been removed over the Christmas season to encourage conversation and conviviality at this special time of year.
And speaking of conviviality, here's our DHRC house band on stage spreading good cheer through the whole family with Sisters.
Sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. Never had to have a chaperone, no sir. I'm here to keep my eye on her. Caring, sharing, every little thing that we are wearing. When a certain gentleman arrived from Rome, she wore the dress and I stayed home. All kinds of weather we stick together, the same in the rain or sun. Two different faces nothing can come between us. Many men have tried to split us up, but no one can. Lord, help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord, help the sister who comes between me and my man. All kinds of weather, we stick together, the same in the rain or sun. Two different faces, but in tight places, we think and we act as one. Those who see us know that not a thing can come between us. Many men have tried to split us up, but no one can. Lord, help the mister who comes between me and my sister. And Lord, help the sister who comes between me and my man. Lord, help the sister who comes between me and my man.
There's more Christmas music from our house band in just a minute. But before that, it's Miller's time.
Haven't we got a whole bit before Miller's time?
Oh, so we have.
We're just creating suspense here. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
That was, if you think back, that was Sisters from the DHRC House Band, live on stage here at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. Now you're listening to the Amerrycana Christmas from the Downright Homespun Radio Company, on air since 1896, and now broadcast throughout the world on FM, longwave, digital, and the internets. A shout out to our listeners in the southern region of the Mongolian steppes this evening, where English is taught in schools using LP recordings of old DHRC shows, played on a wind-up gramophone, donated in the 1950s by members of our DHRC house band.
And in the Falklands right now, our show is being played on loudspeakers at the southern tip and carried by the Atlantic winds over the entire island.
In Timbuktu, our new camel-mounted transmitters are bringing the Amerrycana Christmas show to new audiences across southern Mali and Burkina Faso. Wherever you are, the DHRC will find you and broadcast its show into your living room.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for. There's more Christmas music from our house band in just a moment, but before that, it really is Miller's time.
Yes, it's Miller's time.
Yes, time for fencing wire,
Post drivers,
staples,
drainage pipe,
corrugated iron,
castration clips,
wire strainers,
bells,
bells,
cell,
pills,
quill,
drill,
till,
stills,
stalls,
dog food,
anal dilators,
lubricants,
face masks,
floor wax,
fertilizers,
fumigators,
fabricators,
fir trees,
shrubs,
scrubs,
tubs,
rubs,
gloves,
testicular clamps,
worming tablets,
rubber rings,
hamster warmers,
mucus extraction tubes,
tractor tires,
red buckets,
black buckets,
green buckets,
orange buckets,
tin buckets,
rackets,
jackets, pilchers,
gate hooks,
gift wraps,
mole traps,
lava lamps,
rubber teeth,
leather cleats,
guinea pig treats,
mince pies,
raspberry jelly,
and terracotta figurines.
Yes, it has to be Miller's for all your Christmas agricultural shopping. You can't get better than Miller's of Peebles. Our traditional country-style Santa's Grotto is open from 3 till 6 every day, around the back of the garden centre. Wearing farmyard wellies is advisable, and a long coat, especially after rain. Miller's of Peebles and other places as well.
Now, whether you're right here in the studio audience or listening on a crystal radio set somewhere out there in a sheep station in the Australian outback, You're part of the DHRC 2019 Amerrycana Christmas show. Here's a shout out to all our friends in Hawaii tonight, and it's Mele Kalikimaka, the Hawaiian Christmas song.
I love that.
Thing we say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and dry, sun to shine by day and all the stars at night. Say Merry Christmas to you.
Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green.
From the DHRC's very own house band here at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles. And now, on the Amerrycana Christmas, we're heading over live to our favourite hardware store down there in the middle of Peebles High Street. It's another crazy visit to Scott's Stores.
Thank you for your custom, sir. Mind all the cables on the way out. It's the BBC here again. Gardener's question time. I think something like that. Shoot, this is all getting a bit hectic. How am I supposed to run a hardware store in the lead up to Christmas with all this activity going on?
And we are live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Strictly Come Gardening Final, live from Scott's Stores in the heart of Peebles High Street. Yes, this week is Landscape Week, and of course, Mr. Scott is here to lend a hand should any of the contestants require anything from his well-stocked shelves. Are you all looking forward to the show, Mr. Scott?
Well, I'm a bit apprehensive.
Is there? Yes.
That Monty Don has just had a 20-ton load of topsoil delivered into the back shop, which might impact on my bird feeder and light bulb sales. As for Carol Klein, I can't keep track of how many daffodils she's planted. I'll have to get another order in from the wholesaler. I do have a shop to run, you know.
Yes, yes, we know that. This is a busy time for you. Many thanks for hosting us today. Now let's go over and meet our remaining two contestants, Carol Klein and Monty Don. Ladies and gentlemen, Carol, you first. What's it like to be here in Peebles?
Oh, I just love this place. Mr. Scott keeps his shelves so well stocked, and his garden centre is a joy to behold. I've already been selecting some of his magical creeping vines and late summer flowering perennials, and just what a host of lovely colours they are. Whites, pinks and crimsons. I've already got a good idea of how I'll incorporate them to reflect the changing of the seasons in my landscape project.
Can I just point out that we can supply all the bedding plants you require, and much cheaper than Miller's.
I just can't believe it that I've made it this far. I'm one of the last few on Strictly, and it's the best feeling ever. I know I'm going to have to up my game if I want to avoid the dig-off. But when the tarpaulin goes back tonight, I want it to be my landscape that gets me through to the final.
Oh, thank you, Carol, and also Mr. Scott. And what about you, Monty Don?
Hello. And isn't it a joy to be here? I always stock up with blood and bone fertilizer, John Innes No. 3 potting compost, and a new pair of sharp secateurs whenever I visit Scott Stores at Peebles. And something I particularly like is with Whitty's just being across the road, it's easy to nip out for needle and thread whenever you have to sew another few dozen sequins onto your braces or jerkin. Essentially, if you want to look good in the garden and impress the neighbours up there in Kittlegary. But the folk from Cardrona already know that.
Indeed they do. My range of exotic dibblers are also popular over there.
You know, I've made it as far as Landscape Week, but I'm not taking anything for granted. My performance has to be bigger and better than anything I've done before. That's why I've had all this topsoil ordered. I have to give it my all, and I'm sure my braces will absolutely dazzle the judges.
Hello, madam. Marigold gloves. You'll find our complete range down there next to the polyfiller, behind the makeup artist's desk. Yes, that's right. Ask them to move a monitor to one side so you can get a better look, will you? And yes, I know, it's the BBC messing around.
And by the magic of television and radio, the contestants have completed their landscapes. They've been inspected by the judges and the scores are in. First of all, Craig Revel Horwood.
Well, Monty, once again, I really don't know what you were doing out there. It was a disaster. It's supposed to be Landscape Week, but I found the whole thing was in portrait. Do try and keep up. And the whole vista you created, darling, is dull, dull, dull. The stripes on your lawn were all over the place. Just what is that fountain doing? And the flamingo looks out of place. On the upside, the sequins on your braces did a good job of complementing your sparkly Wellington boots, but I'll just give it 6.
Not too high a score. By the way, can I get this topsoil shifted out of my shop now?
Oh, I say, I'm not too pleased with that. Do I have a right of appeal?
I'm afraid not. And now, Bruno Tonioli.
I just loved your deciduous and dwarf conifers on the steps leading up the stairs. That to me was pure genius. While the long lake you created on the top shelf near the batteries and smoke detectors, what a treat. Think Geneva, baby, lakes and fountains. Your fountain spouted forth like a thunderstorm across the pampas, leaving me begging for no more. And your strong shoulders from all of that digging, they're just packed with pecs appeal. I loved it. I think your pruning of the lavender was a little harsh. It brought waters to my eyes just to think of it, darling. But overall, I think it was a good performance. I give it 8.
May I just point out that it wasn't a lake. It's my bucket to collect the rain coming through the roof.
And now marks for Carol Klein, please. First, Craig Revel Horwood.
Well, the way you push forward your wildflower herbaceous border was a brave attempt to be different, but I don't think it really worked, as it clashed with the compost heaps. And sprouts next to roses? I don't think so, darling. Even if the roses are such bold, brazen colours. And you really do need to do more riddling if you want your carrots to sprout early whilst avoiding getting nipped by frost, dear. I did like your chiffon dress which you wore whilst weeding, but if you want to be taken seriously, dear, you'll have to stop giggling so much and playing with your clematis. You may be a contender for the dig-off, dear. 7.
Hey, Mr. Don, will you please stop throwing snowdrop bulbs at Mr. Revel Horwood? It could become a trip hazard later on in the shop.
Well, I don't think that's a very fair score. It was all organic and locally sourced, you know. I think I deserve a bit more than that.
And now, finally, Bruno Tonioli. Comments on Carol Klein, please.
Oh, Carol! It was beyond belief! Great Scott! It was so strong, so tight, so moist. I loved it, baby. It was delicious. Particularly, I liked the way you did the swivel using both of your massive cauliflowers. It flowed like liquid pleasure all over the lovely hillside you created by the paint mixing machine. The pink-coloured JCB was choreographed sublimely with the gnomes in the rockery, while the long, flowing lawn down the cash register behind the cans of tins of wood was superb. My darling, 9.
Oh, Monty Don doesn't seem too happy with his scores and is pelting both the judges with lumps of mud from his landscaped garden.
Yes, meanwhile Carol Klein has grabbed Craig Revel Horwood by the throat and shoved him headfirst into a sack of birdseed. A special offer for the next few weeks, by the way.
This is not very pleasant, Mr. Scott. Is there something you can do?
Exactly what I always do under these circumstances. Right, you lot, bring it up. Stop it right now. Silence! Right. We're off to the Crown Hotel next door, and Craig Revel Horwood, you're getting in the first round of drinks.
Really, darling?
Yeah, really, darling. Now, when we go to the bar, don't mention where we got your sequins. Whitties and Gustavs have been out of stocks for weeks. The lads from Graham Irvin will be having a drink in the bar, and they'll be jealous as hell because they're down to the last pair of sequin cover overalls. Now, out you go! Out, you lot! Out! Go on! I'll join you in a moment. That'll be £3.50 for the marigold gloves, please, madam. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Steve Lee, Paddy Kennedy and Robert Barr bringing you all the action down at Scott's Hardware on Peebles High Street. For all your hardware and gardening needs, kitchenware, paint, tools and key cutting, head into Scott's Hardware Emporium, one of the gems of Peebles High Street.
Have yourself a very Merry Christmas now, courtesy of the DHRC House Band, live on stage at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year, all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. carol, our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore, faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. And have yourself a merry little Christmas night. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore, faithful friends who are dear to us gather near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. And have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
We hope you're getting into the Christmas spirit here on the DHRC Amerrycana Christmas and leaving all that election stress and news coverage outside the door.
Besides, you can always rely on the misfortunes of others to make yourself feel better about your own situation. So let's get straight on the phone to our food and drink correspondent, Chick Fowle. Chick's been on the hunt for the perfectly environmentally friendly Christmas tree by driving around the countryside in his 4x4. Yes, I know. But it's all we've got for now, so let's just try and get through it. Hey Chick, where are you now?
I'm on the A9, Robert. Yeah, just on the outskirts of Newton Moor. Heading home.
Newton Moor? What on earth are you doing driving away up north but Newton Moor, Chick?
I've been after that tree, Robert, remember? You see, the ones at Dumfries, they were originally grown in Britain, all right. But you know what? They sold out. I mean, would you believe it? But I finally got one, Robert. You hearing this? I finally got one of those sustainable suckers.
Newton
A
Moor.
real cute 4-foot grown in Britain, environmentally friendly Christmas tree. Yeah, I got it from this real big Christmas tree farm just outside of Wick.
Wick? What about all the fuel it takes to get out of Wick, chick?
Don't worry about that, Robert. The office is picking up the bill. No worries.
All that way for a 4-foot tree? Do you think that's justified?
Of course it is. It is a real cutie, Robert. I don't think I've ever seen such a cute Christmas tree. And with all its sustainable credentials and all, and it fits perfectly on the back of the pickup. Sure, it's been worth the effort. Trees like this are rare and worth seeking out, Robert. And you know, I'm making a statement. This tree is not plastic and it is homegrown.
Okay, right, yeah, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks, chick. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I think I should just about be home for dinner, but I'll have to floor it now I'm back on the A9.
A9. Watch out for the average speed cameras on the A9, chick.
Yeah, what's that? Oh, hey, boy, the snow is beginning to get thick around here.
It's snowing.
Yeah, it has been since Canusi. Good job I got the 4x4, eh, Robert? You thought I didn't need it, that's what you said. Ha!
Yeah.
I told you it was a good idea, and I think you'll find I'm right once again.
Yeah, but I didn't know you were going to be travelling so far. I mean, Glentress is right here.
Regular Boy Scout, Robert, that's me, always prepared. This truck will get me through, and with the heater on full, it's kind of cozy in here. I'll be fine.
Okay, look after yourself, chick.
Yeah, oh, hey, here comes another service station. I better get some more fuel and some more water. I'll speak to you later, Robert.
Yeah, okay, so, sure thing, chick. Chick Fowl there, reporting from who knows where. And we'll catch up with Chick once more before the end of the show. Steve Lee, ladies and gentlemen. But now it's time once again for a seasonal visit from local MP and part-time kitchen wizard David Mundell with his ever-popular cookery session here on the DHRC Amerrycana Christmas. Please welcome him on stage with his mobile kitchen on wheels with David Mundell Cooks Up Christmas.
Thank you.
Just bring it in here. There we go. Yep, just wheel it over there. That's it.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
David, you've been cooking things up in government for a good few years now.
I certainly have.
And we're looking forward to seeing how you can cook up Christmas again this year.
Thank you. It'll just be one of the many cook-ups I've been responsible for this year.
Now, before we get started on tonight's dinner, you've offered to revisit a couple of Christmas cook-ups from the past to remind us of how things have changed over the years.
Yes, indeed. The first I'm looking at back to 2015. Goodness, doesn't that seem like a long time ago? And I was cooking up Christmas using my favourite cookbook by my very best friend, David Cameron.
Okay, what was that called?
It was called Austerity Christmas. The whole dinner was centred around a lovely pig's head, which I purchased, of course, from Forsyth's the Butcher's right here in Peebles. Yes, indeed. David Cameron's cookbook suddenly disappeared from the shelves, and now it's very hard to get hold of. But my new favourite cookbook of 2017 by my new best friend was Strong and Stable Christmas by Theresa May.
That involved a lot of hard boiling, I seem to recall.
Oh yes, everything was hard boiled that Christmas. As you know from my record, I like to follow my leader's instructions to the letter, even when it seems completely illogical or pointless. Theresa's recipe for austerity turkey involved boiling it up in a saucepan with a pair of leopard skin shoes and the blood of a Yemeni child. That wasn't easy to get hold of, I can tell you.
Was that the year you nearly resigned on a matter of conscience?
Oh no, I would never do a thing like that.
Must have been gas or something. So, David, bring us up to date. What's on the menu for David Mundell Cooks Up Christmas in 2019? Is it another boiled turkey?
Oh, definitely not. I'm using my new favourite cookbook from my very best friend, Boris Johnston. It's called Get Christmas Done, and it's the most extravagant Christmas dinner ever. Apparently all the turkeys have voted for it.
And what does that involve?
Well, there's 20,000 more sprouts and I'm building 40 new kitchens just to prepare it all.
40 new kitchens!
Well, 6 actually. But let's call it 40. Now, most of the recipes have long lists of very expensive ingredients, but you don't actually serve any of it up on the plates. And there's a huge amount of stuffing in this year's Christmas. In fact, looking at the recipe book again, it's pretty much all stuffing. Boris is big on stuffing.
It sounds like it's going to cost a fortune.
Well, that's no problem. We're selling it up to the American insurance companies as soon as Christmas is over. Then we'll all be stuffed.
Thank you very much. Possibly for the last time, David Mendel cooks up Christmas once again, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Amerrycana Christmas.
Robert Barr and Douglas Roberts bringing you that special report from our local MP this evening. Let's kick back with some music now from our house band here on the Amerrycana Christmas, and what better than a Merry Christmas polka?
Tuning up the fiddles now, the fiddles now, the fiddles now. It's wine to warm the middles now, and set your head a whirl. Round and round the room we go, the room we go, the room we go. Round and round the room we go, just get yourself a girl. Now every heart will start to tingle when sleigh bells jingle on Santa's sleigh. Together we will greet Kris Kringle and another Christmas day. Come on and dance the Merry Christmas polka. Let everyone be happy and gay. Oh, it's the time to be jolly, and death comes a holly. So let's have a jolly holiday. Come on and dance, it's the Merry Christmas polka. Another joyous season has begun. Roll out the Yuletide carols and sing out the carols. A Merry Christmas, everyone. Now every heart will start to tingle when sleigh bells jingle on Santa's sleigh. Together we will greet Kris Kringle and another Christmas day. Come on and dance the Merry Christmas polka. Let every lady step with a bow around a tree to the ceiling, with lots of time for stealing those kisses beneath the mistletoe. Come on and dance the Merry Christmas polka, with everybody joining in the fun. Roll out the Yuletide carols and sing out the carols. A Merry Christmas, everyone.
High above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the old Veitches building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, private detective. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, call into the offices of Bobby Barr. Cash in advance, expenses are extra, and don't call on a Wednesday afternoon if you know what's good for you.
I was investigating the mysterious disappearance of trees from public spaces and front gardens in Peebles. Miss Sylvia Cardale's cherry tree was removed without trace in the middle of the night, and this pattern seemed to be repeated all across the borders. In the village of Bergem, a local woman spotted a yellow truck leaving the scene at 3 in the morning, and I was currently in pursuit of a similar yellow truck as it wound its way along some unmarked B roads towards a huge set of metal gates in the middle of nowhere. The yellow council truck pulled up at the gates, and the driver spoke to an intercom for a moment. Then the gates slowly swung open. I stayed back until the gate started to close, then drove at high speed through the gap before it could finish closing. I followed the truck down a long driveway into the courtyard of a huge facility completely hidden from the road and not registered on my sat-nav.
You are currently parked in a field. Proceed to the route.
An enormous pile of freshly cut trees was stacked on one side, and 3 forklift trucks were carrying the trees across the courtyard to a giant hopper and tipping them in. From inside the building, I could hear the sound of wood being turned into sawdust.
Excuse me! What are you doing here?
A woman in a Scottish Borders Council body warmer was running towards me. I had seen her before, possibly in Peebles or pictured in the Peebleshire News. Then I realised who she was.
How did you get in here? I'll be calling the police about this.
I don't think you will, Miss Haslam. I don't think you'll be wanting to draw attention to this facility, seeing it doesn't appear on any maps.
How do you know who I am? And who are you?
I'm Bobby Barr, Miss Haslam, private investigator from Peebles, and I recognise you from the pages of every edition of the Peebleshire News for the past 3 years.
A high security facility, and you must leave now.
What are you doing with all these trees you've taken from around the borders?
Trees? What trees? There are no trees here.
There's a pile of freshly cut trees over 2 stories high right behind you.
Oh, no, there isn't.
Oh, yes, there is.
And besides, who said those trees were removed from public spaces in the middle of the night by council workers and brought here secretly in specially adapted recycling trucks?
No one, until you said it just now.
No, I didn't. I deny that completely.
Well, if nothing else, you're clearly well qualified for high political office.
I'm not even here.
Now listen, Miss Haslam, I want to know what the Scottish Borders Council is doing with all these stolen trees. Is that a wood chipping machine I hear in the building over there?
Look, Bobby Barr, or whatever your name is, you've got no business poking your nose into this. Who are you to question the Scottish Borders Council?
I'm a voter for one thing, and I represent the interests of voters whose trees have been uprooted and taken away.
Look, I haven't got time for voters. I said when there's a council election, and there isn't one of those until 2022.
Perhaps you'd prefer to answer to the newspapers. I'm sure the Peebleshire News would like to hear about this wood chipping facility.
No, not the Peebleshire News! Oh, all right. I'll tell you what we're doing here, and maybe then you'll understand. We've got no choice about it. Come over to the office.
We walked across to a large office where grids and charts lined the wall, and a complicated 3D transport map of the Scottish borders was laid out on a central table, showing the locations of trees in public parks, woodlands and private gardens. A team of men and women were busy moving small models of yellow trucks around the map with long wooden sticks. A set of clocks on the wall showed different times of the night. The trucks were to go and remove trees and bring them to the wood chipping facility.
Look, you must understand, Mr. Barr, that children don't learn properly if they're cold.
I'm not following you.
Do you know how many schools there are in the Scottish borders?
No, but what's that got to do with it?
73. There are 73 schools in the Scottish borders, Mr. Barr, and that's a lot of heating.
Heating? Wait, you're heating schools with stolen trees?
No, not stolen, Mr. Barr, repurposed. We're installing wood chip boilers in all our schools. But have you seen the price of wood chip?
So you decided to make your own?
The borders is full of trees. They're everywhere, and we spend millions clearing the leaves. This way we reduce the cost of clearing leaves and cover the cost of heating our schools at the same time.
But you're stripping all the public places of trees.
Look, we don't have any choice since we've spent all our reserves on golden handshakes for retiring council executives. We've got no resources left to pay for school heating. And besides, by clearing the trees, we're making even more land available for housing.
Housing? This just gets worse. Haven't you looked at the alternatives?
Well, if you can think of an alternative, Mr. Barr, I'll be happy to consider it.
As I drove away from the secret council wood chipping facility, my mind was spinning with the enormity of what I'd seen. I felt a duty to expose what I'd found to the world. But how would that solve the interwoven problems of finding the cash to run the council services? How would Miss Haslam heat the schools without chopping down all the trees in the borders? As I arrived back in Peebles, I saw the high school kids queuing once again outside Greg's, huddling together in their shirt sleeves and thin black trousers and skirts. And suddenly, I had an idea.
Shona Haslam.
Miss Haslam, Bobby Barr here. I've thought of a way to solve your school heating problem without cutting down any more trees. Have you got a few minutes to talk?
Sure.
Have you heard of the March Street Mill in Peebles? It was closed down a year or two back, but the buildings are all still there. I've got an idea.
Keep talking, Mr. Barr.
It was a chilly December morning, a couple of weeks later, when I put in the call to Miss Sylvia Cardale.
Hello? Sylvia Cardale speaking.
Miss Cardale, Bobby Barr here. It's about the case of your missing cherry tree. I've got some good news and some bad news.
Oh, Mr. Barr, how good of you to call. What's happened? Have you found it?
I'm afraid not, Miss Cardale. At least I haven't got it back for you. I'm afraid it was destroyed before I found out where it was.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What's the good news?
No one else will have to go through what you've been through, Miss Cardale. The tree thefts have stopped.
Oh, well, that is good news, Mr. Barr. How did you manage it?
It's a long story, Miss Cardale. Perhaps you'd be interested in meeting me for dinner and hearing all about it.
Oh, I'm about to go off to work, Mr. Barr. I've unexpectedly been offered my old job back at the March Street Mills. They've started up again, making woolen jumpers and coats for school children, and they've taken me back as one of their international buyers. I'll be traveling away from Peebles a lot of the time from now on.
I see.
Oh, do drop me an email sometime and let me know how you solved the case, won't you?
An email.
Goodbye now, Mr. Barr.
Goodbye, Miss Cardale. And congratulations on getting your job back. I put the phone down and looked out the window. The Peebles High School kids were queuing outside Greg's the baker's, cosy in their new council-supplied woolen jumpers made by the council-run March Street Mills. The mill was up to full production again, employing 86 local people and making warm jumpers, woolly trousers and heavy coats for children across the border to wear in school. A light sleep was falling, and I wondered if I'd make it across the road for a coffee and a sausage roll without getting drenched. I knew you'd have to join the queue. But I thought, what the hell?
Brought to you courtesy of March Street Overcoats and the I-Bean Coffee Company. Join us again next time for another thrilling adventure from the files of Bobby Barr, Private Eye.
Patsy Gamble, Kathy Kennedy, Douglas Roberts, and our very own Sir Robert Barr Manor. With the latest adventure from everyone's favourite detective, Bobby Barr.
We're heading towards the end of our Amerrycana Christmas show for another year. Before that, we'll check in with our food and drink correspondent, Chick Fowl. Right now, though, our house band is on stage and ready to roll with their next number. A big hand, please, for the DHRC House Band and You Make It Feel Christmas.
I
Now, for the final time this evening, we're getting on the phone and chatting with our food and drink correspondent, Chick Fowle. Chick's on his way home, having secured himself an environmentally responsible Christmas tree for this year's festivities. Hello, Chick? Hello? Hello? Chick Fowle? I'm not sure I want to know the answer to this question, but where are you, Chick? Are you at some sort of outdoor carol service near Pitlochry?
Pitlochry? No, Robert, I'm on the A9.
Uh-huh.
In a lay-by, actually. Lay-by number 78, I think it
A
is.
lay-by? What? So what happened, Chick? I thought you were heading home.
It's the snow, Robert. They closed the snow gates at Dalwhinnie. Bam! End of journey.
Oh.
So I guess I won't be home for dinner after all. In fact, I'm not sure I'll be home for Christmas. The way this snow is falling, I could be here a while.
I see. Well, that's a shame. It sounds it's pretty grim up there.
No, it's actually not too bad. I mean, I got the engine ticking over and the heater with heated seats on, and I'm really quite cozy. I just came back in the truck to phone you, Robert. Otherwise, I'd be out there with the rest of the marooned folk.
Uh-huh.
There's quite a crowd of us. But we're all out there singing Christmas carols and gathering around a makeshift bonfire to keep warm. It's pretty good. And guess what?
I couldn't possibly dare to do that, Chick. What?
One of the maroon vehicles is a truck belonging to a major crisp manufacturer. So we're all tucking in.
Okay.
It's against my principles, really, though. Although I'll gather together all the empty crisp packets and drop them off at the high school later on. I'm still trying to do my bit, Robert.
Oh, you've done your bit, all right. Thank you, Chick. Yes, I don't think you need to worry about that. Anyway, didn't you join some sort of environmental organization?
Yeah, it was called the Expulsion Revulsion. And we all decided that if we maybe all do our bit, maybe Mother Earth can recover.
Right. Let's hope so, Chick.
Yeah. Well, at least I know at least I can rest it. Hey, what do you think you're doing? That's my Christmas tree. You can't use that. I've been all over the goddamn country looking at that tree. That is a sustainable tree, that is.
What's going on, Chick?
I don't believe it. They're running out of wood for the bonfire, so they throw my tree on it. That's my tree. They're burning Rosebud. The tree. I gave it a name.
I see.
Yeah, they're burning Rosebud, my tree, my sustainable, eco-friendly Christmas tree. These people have no idea. The world is doomed, Robert. I tried to do my best. You know, sometimes I think it's just me and Greta.
Do you? Oh, well. Well, look, never mind, Chick. You tried. Okay?
I really despair from mankind. You know that, Robert?
Yeah. So do I, Chick. And Chick.
Yes, Robert.
Merry Christmas. Try to keep warm.
Yeah, well, no danger of that, Robert. It's real cozy in here. Although the fuel gauge is dropping fast.
Okay. Surprise. See you later, Chick. Chick Fowle, our food and drink correspondent, doing his bit for climate change. And he's bringing our 2019 DHRC Amerrycana Christmas to a close here at the Grand Old Eastgate Theatre in downtown Peebles.
A quick reminder that it's not too late to pick up a set of our fabulous DHRC branded mugs downstairs here in the theatre right after the show. Whether it's for upgrading your own set of mugs at home or buying quality gifts for loved ones near and far, our high-quality DHRC mugs are perfect for every occasion.
You won't find those in Tiger Lily, for obvious reasons. So that's the end of our show for this evening. Please put your hands together for our DHRC house band members. That's Lauren Dorford over there on the keyboard. James Gregg fiddling while the music turns. And our very own Alistair Ray on the strings, right in the middle of the stage there. Feel no wines, ladies and gentlemen.
Next to him, band leader Henry Taylor hitting those bass notes. Over there we've got Ian Beaton on the drums. And how about those vocals?
not forget our World Company of Radio Actors. It's Lord of the Manor Valley, the one and only Sir Robert Barr. We had some guest appearances this evening. Kathy Kennedy brought you the seductive voice of Miss Sylvia Cardale. And Patty Gemmell stepped up as the one and only council leader. And pretty much everyone else was played by the many voices of Steve Lee.
And on the other microphone, holding it all together, was Douglas Roberts. And Steve Lee with additional material by Robert Barr.
Now, our set manager is Anthony Newton, who's up there behind the camera. Ably assisted by John Small, who's hiding in the stage in the audience somewhere. Up there on the mixing desk is Eastgate Technical Manager Cliff Carey. Thank you very much, Cliff. His first, can you believe it, his first DHRC Amerrycana show. And playing in all those important sound effects was our audio manager, Alan Taylor.
Our thanks as always to the Eastgate staff and Nomad Beat for rehearsal space.
Now we've got a quick shout out to Jimmy Smiley, who's in the audience this evening celebrating his 60th birthday. Where are you, Jimmy? He's somewhere. He's hiding. He's over there! Happy birthday. That's it for this year. We'll be back next year for, can you believe it, our 10th anniversary edition of the Amerrycana Christmas. So that's next year, same time, same place. To play us out tonight, here's our DHRC house band with yet another Christmas song that they managed to dredge up. Give it up for We Need a Little Christmas.
Tree before night, spirit falls again. Fill up the stocking. I'm gonna be rushing things, but deck the halls again now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinning. As we need a little Christmas right this very minute.
It hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry, so
Climb down the chimney, it's been a long time day now, like I've ever seen. Slice up the fruitcake, it's gonna be hot some tinsel on an evergreen bough. For I've grown a little leaner, grown a little older, grown a little sadder, grown a little older, and I need a little angel sitting on my shoulder. We need a little Christmas now. All out the holly, the ones that taught you all to live each living day. Fill up the stocking, the 19 May is 1 week past Thanksgiving Day now. But we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinning, as we need a little Christmas right this very minute.
it hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry, so
Climb down the chimney. It's been a long time since I felt good neighborly. Slice up the fruitcake. It's time we hung some tinsel on that neighborly bough. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the windows, carols at the spinning, and we need a little Christmas right this very minute. We need a little Christmas now. most wonderful time of the year. When the kids sing go belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those great greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all.
Turkey parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow.
There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
David Mundell, as we wrap up the show for another year, any last election thoughts?
I'm tremendously excited about the election results. I think this is going to be my biggest cook-up yet. In fact, it looks like my party is about to cook up the entire country and serve it in a silver platter in Washington.
Well, as always, David, we hope you've got it completely wrong. Same time next year?
Same time next year, yes.
Parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow.
There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the